Good evening, Kate, or good afternoon. How are
How
we?
you do? Long time no see.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. How's your day going?
Pretty good. We were at the casino yesterday to go watch a game. So just
Yeah.
got back.
So when you go to the casino to watch a game, did you bet on anything else, or just watch the game there and have a
Uh,
drink, or
in in the casino, there's a stadium. It's like an actual game. We went to go watch a WNBA game there. The WNBA teams play. They have a stadium in our casino. It's a pretty large place.
yeah? Sounds dangerous for me. That Kate, got to be honest.
Leave the game, go right to the sports book, or there's a slot
Yeah,
machines everywhere.
yeah. I like it. I like it. How many casinos do you have over there then? Do you have many casinos, or I know that's part of the complex, but do you have separate ones, or
In the area, I've got three that are within like an hour drive.
yeah,
Uh, uh, and then that's mostly it. I don't have too many like little ones and stuff. We have a couple places where you can go bet on sports, but in terms of like going to like a sports book or a casino, about an hour away for me.
and do you bet much on the tables? You seem like someone who'd probably stay away from them. Do you gamble much on the tables, or
Yeah, not really. A little bit, some blackjack sometimes and stuff, but not very often, no.
like? So yeah, let's dive straight in. I think last time we caught up, I think we spoke about Paris Saint-Germain, didn't we? We were at the final with Inter Milan, and we asked you for a tip on it, and I think you said Paris to win either half. So that was quite a comfortable bet, wasn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, about as comfortable as they get. It's just too exhausted Inter and PSG are always fresh because they rotate in the league and they press so well. It's just a bad combination for Inter.
Yeah, that's a brilliant season last season, Paris. But yeah, they seem to have Spurs nearly done them the other night, didn't they?
Yeah, that was an interesting one. It was very like uh, I don't know. I think there's like a route to getting behind PSG a little bit. You kind of suck them into the press and then go behind their fullbacks just a little bit. And not too many teams are doing that from the off, but Chelsea and Tottenham have both done it. And the set pieces, of course. But I guess a little bit of talent told in the end, I suppose, toward the
Yeah,
end there with all the pushing. And to be fair to PSG, they've just come back from break and they've just been training for like 3 days and a little bit of a break there, and it took them a while to get into the game, obviously. But you know, Tottenham did have their chances there.
yeah. They had a long season, Paris, with the final, didn't they? And then the Club World Cup. So that might be a reason. And our team, my team, your team, Liverpool, excited for tomorrow night and the new season starting off. What do you make of the transfers?
Yeah, really liked a lot of them. We just got Leone in, it looks like, as well. Um, he's not leaving on loan, which I think is good. Also, staying at the club. Verts, obviously, the signing I never thought we'd end up with. That's not a very Liverpool type signing. It's like, you find a player who's just 3, 4 years from their prime, and you spend 40 million and you work them up. It's not like Liverpool to go out often. We still do it, Van Dijk and Allison and stuff when the opportunity comes up, but it's not like an every year thing. Not like City every year. Or we don't spend money that often, so it's nice to come in on a young player who's got everything at his feet theoretically and really, really talented. Really like the look of him. Ekatike looks good as well. Really technically gifted for someone who's like 6'4" or whatever he is, 6'3". Um, like the look of him. The fullbacks, of course, going to play a little bit differently, I think, with the fullbacks, but they look pretty good as well. I really like the window. We end up with another center back and another forward. Be a really good window, I think.
Yeah, well, I think we'll look super strong. Well, we definitely need one more centre back for me. And I think, as you said, at the moment we've got Ekatike, Gappo, and Salah, haven't we? And I think behind that, you're probably reliant on Chiesa and one or two players that don't play as often. Do you think? Do you think we'll get Isaac before it closes? And do you think he's worth 150 million?
That's a good question. I've tried not to get my hopes up here. I try not to get my hopes up with transfers until I see them like going through after uh Fekir and we had Remy that one time who quote didn't pass his medical. Um so I kind of try and keep my hopes a little bit down. In terms of worth, I don't know. If he works out, don't matter how much you spend, right? So just hoping he works out.
Yeah, I remember Fakir. I think he had a shirt on at one point, didn't he? Some
He
pictures
was
in there.
doing the interviews like after the fact, like doing the interviews. You see, they tweet him out after they announce the signing and stuff. He's doing the interviews, and I was like, oh my god,
Yeah,
what on earth happened?
yeah. I think he ends up going to Real Betis. I think in the end, didn't he?
Yeah,
Yeah,
interesting one. But we
yeah.
had that. Yeah, we had that with Remy too. He failed, quote unquote, failed his medical. And then we signed Balotelli right after that.
Blimey, that didn't work out very well, did it?
I thought it was going to. After that Tottenham game, when him and Sturridge were up front and we killed Tottenham, I was like, oh, maybe this will work out. And maybe he's like got his head on straight a little bit, but
Yeah,
unfortunately not.
he's crackers, isn't he? He's just crackers, isn't he? Setting
Yeah,
fire off in bedrooms and or
so
apartments.
much wasted talent.
Yeah, yeah, totally agree. Well, last time we spoke up as well, obviously doing the £1 to £1 million challenge, 100k followers, kid, willing you on to do well. I think last time we spoke, you were at around £600. So have you crashed and burned, or are you still climbing the ladder?
We're still moving up. We're at just under $800 at the moment, so we're still moving in the right direction. So we had made it a goal to like about a month and a half ago. We were at 625, and the goal was to double that before the new year. So we're hoping to get to 1250 before January 1st. We'll see. Obviously, 1,000's a really big mark if we get there as well. But yeah, it's an everyday grind. Just got to keep pushing.
Yeah. Would you say football is your favourite thing to bet on, and what have you done in the pre-season? How have you filled the void?
We filled the void with a lot of baseball, which I don't like. Like, I don't like watching baseball. It's a bit slow for me. And baseball, there's 16 games every day, and it's every day because baseball is just that sport that plays six. Every team plays 6 games every 7, so it's 16 games every single day. It's a sport I don't particularly love, and it's a lot of numbers and grindy work. So it's been uh, that kind of summer. Uh, I'm excited for the football to be back. The football or the soccer for I have to call it soccer, sorry. um that's
Okay.
because I deal with regular NFL football, so I can't do both.
You've got to differentiate between.
Yeah, I gotta differentiate it. um but it's good to be back. Like when I do my models and stuff, soccer's like the one where I can watch it on the TV and look at the numbers and they connect like
Yeah,
super simply for me. I'm not sure why, but it's also the sport I watch the most. Like on the weekend, I'll catch if they're all on separately. Like if you get like 3 on Saturday, if there's one on Friday, 3 on Saturday, and the 3 windows, 2 on Sunday and a Monday, I've definitely would have watched all of them.
yeah,
So I watch soccer is the one I watch the most, just naturally as it is, and when they connect with the numbers and stuff, it's one of my favorites to bet for sure.
yeah. And when you watch the games, do you end up watching them for the patterns and for the bets, or do you watch it for enjoyment, or a bit of both?
I tend to watch whatever game is on that I kind of want to watch. Like if Arsenal are playing City and United are playing Villa, and I have a bet in the United game, I still kind of want to watch the Arsenal game. So I'll put the Arsenal game on. It's just more about which one I want to watch. I'll watch some of the games I have bets in, but I found if I'm watching a game I have a bet in, I'm not watching it neutrally. and I'm not picking up on the things I probably should be picking up on, and I'm kind of just more interested if my bet gets over the line.
Yeah, you've got to be careful, haven't you? Because when you do bets, and quite popular nowadays, the bet builders, you do end up watching the bet. So if you've done, say, over 6 corners and it's on 4, you end up watching for the corners opposed to watching for the enjoyment, don't you? So yeah,
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
and I think as you're building and as you get into your £700-800, are you sticking with the same strategy, or do you see your strategy changing in the future?
Yeah, well, for now, I expect it to kind of stay the same. As we go further down the line, it'll change quite a bit. It's a lot of the sports books don't like you here very much if you're winning, and I'm not in an area where I can bet on some of the sports books that don't mind. There are some big sports books that don't mind if you're good, and they'll take your bets regardless. So further down the line, less props, more sides and totals,
Mm.
and probably moving out of the state I'm in at some stage.
That reminds me of the. I don't know if I mentioned this to you last time. There's a TV series on Netflix called. What was it called? I think it was called Bad Sport, but it was about. I think one of the episodes was about a basketball player, and he was fixing games. He was shaving points, I think they call it. And it got to the point where they were making so much money they couldn't put it in the bookmakers. So I think they were giving bags of money to go to Vegas and put the bets on. It's hopefully you'll never get to that stage.
That's right. Yeah, it's tougher nowadays. I feel like it's tougher unless there are some players here and there that are not so bright, I think, that are putting their careers on the line for a couple thousand, which is silly, but it for a normal player, it'd be tough to tell them that you have enough money to give them, considering the contracts some of these guys make now.
Yeah, crazy, but it goes. It was surprising when I watched that series. I think there was 6 episodes. I watched it quite a few years ago. 6 episodes and 6 different sports, and it was quite eye opening how much of it goes on. If you haven't seen it, it's well worth a watch, definitely.
Yeah, I'll have to check that one out. I don't think I've seen that one.
No, we're worth a watch. Well, listen, let's talk a little bit about betting then. So here on the pre-match mix, we done betting last season. It wasn't so successful, I'll be honest. So what we're looking for this season, if we get guests on or we get fans on, or even ourselves, probably following a little bit more of the Kurt model. So we'd love people to take on what we're going to call the pre-match challenge, which will be a guest choosing 5 bets for us for the weekend, and then we'll put it on ourselves, and we'll see if we can grow a little bit of the pre-match mix. So we're looking probably from the goodness of your heart to try and help us out with some bets. I don't know if you know this, and it might be the same in America, but in the UK, if you put a £30 bet on, or a total £30, normally around that number, you normally get a free £5 bet as well. So that's why we've chose just 30 as our number. So are you up for the challenge, and could you give us 5 bets for the weekend?
Yeah, sure, absolutely could. Yeah, we're ready to go.
Let's do it then. So bet number one.
Um, this one I've bet personally already. The Tottenham and Burnley under 3 or under 2.5, I suppose, if you don't have the Asian lines there. Um, yeah, I'm struggling to see Burnley do a whole lot of good on the forward line. And I do like the Tottenham back line despite everything. Van de Ven's really good. Romero's really good. Really talented in the middle. Um, Vicario is good on his day. I don't know if he's like a really good week in and week out kind of guy. He has a mistake in him or two, but on his day he's very good, and I don't expect him to see a ton of shots on target here from Burnley. And Tottenham, uh, new players a little bit, new system, new manager. Um, you get no Son anymore, of course. Kudus comes in, who I like, but I don't know if he's a giant jump on Son or anything. And no Madison, of course, who's their only real creator from midfield. Um, and Burnley, if you watch any of their games in the championship, they're really, really great at getting back when they lose the ball. And it might just make it a lot of moving the ball around in midfield along the center backs for Tottenham and picking and probing. So under three would be a push. So to lose that bet, they need four. I'm struggling to kind of see four in that
Four
one.
goals in the game. Yeah, do you think he'll try and make them a bit more tight, Thomas Frank? Because under Ange, it was just open, wasn't it? So you think he'll try and make it a bit more solid?
Yeah, I think so. And they're a little bit more healthy on the back line too. Last year, Romero has some injury issues. He's also got like a red card issue. He has one of those hot-headed moments like 3 times a year, it feels like.
Yeah.
And Van de Ven missed some time, and Bentancur missed some time, and yeah, I kind of and there won't be any more of those 10 men along the line at midfield versus Chelsea type performances out of Frank. I don't think so.
Yeah.
We'll
It's
see.
it's probably, to be fair, he did have a lot of injuries, and he probably a bit like Liverpool that season with Klopp when we lost a lot of players, wasn't it? And we struggled a little bit. So you can definitely understand that. So we're going to go Spurs then under two, probably go under 2.5 goals. So
Yeah,
2 goals wins the bet, 3 goals loses it.
losers the bet.
We'll try and tighten the margin on that one.
Yeah.
Brilliant first choice, like that one. So yeah, bet number two. What have you got for us, number two, please, Kurt?
This one is Fulham double chance or Fulham plus half a goal, however you want to say it. The Fulham are pretty much the same team as last year so far. They've bought nobody. They bought like the third goalkeeper. They've spent £500,000. They haven't let anybody go except Nelson, who was there on loan. It's very much the same team. I was kind of disappointed with the way they ended last year a little bit, but I thought that was, mid-table on the beach type. Yeah, Bournemouth did it, and like season's over. We got 10 games left. We're not going down. We're not going up anywhere. So they kind of took their foot off the gas a little bit. I had this exact bet last year at Brighton, Fulham plus half a goal. Lost it in the 98th minute via penalty, which was tons of fun, naturally, but. It's a very Fulham are so much better on the road than they are at home. It's just the way they play. They're tough. It's tough for them. They don't have a ton of creativity in midfield to break down blocks and things, but they're good enough to hit on the break on the road. And I'm not super in love with what Brighton are doing. A lot of new faces again. A lot of new faces from last year who didn't really hit the ground running. I don't particularly love the way the manager sets them up either. So I think there could be a smaller upset here early.
Yeah, and I think the last couple of seasons they've done brilliant with the transfers, South Americans as well, haven't they, Brighton? But you do think how long can that go on? Can they keep getting these players and they have to? But I think for me, yeah, young manager, a bit of a question mark on him still, the Brighton manager. So yeah, I can see that. And I think last year I enjoyed watching Bournemouth and I enjoyed watching Fulham as well last year. I thought they both done quite well. They were good teams to watch. So no, another great pick for us. So yeah, we'll go for either Fulham to draw away to Brighton or Fulham to win, double chance. Yeah, like that. So bet number three for us, please, Kurt.
This one is Wolves and Manchester City, both teams to score yes. I got that one at minus 125. Um, yeah, I like City to score for one. It's tough to look at City and say they're not going to score today, but they're mostly healthy. Marmoush was a pretty good addition last year, I thought. It's nice to give Holland like a runner off of him because Holland's not necessarily a creative guy, and you don't want Holland when he makes his runs in behind going to, toward the corner. You kind of want him sticking around in the middle. You get another runner off of him, I thought was good. And the talent up front is pretty good. Doku's been getting better, though his end product is still a little bit funky, but he's getting really, really good at beating everybody, it feels like. And I like their creativity in midfield, despite they lose De Bruyne, but Cherky looks like he'll be a good creator at the minimum. So I like them to score. And then Wolves, this is they were much better. I wouldn't say much better, but since the manager turn, they were better than their previous selves. Um, they still got a bit of pace, a bit of attacking flair. And City will be without Rodri. And when they're without Rodri, they just concede goals. It's just who they are. They're a little bit more open. You're going to get Cherokee in there, I assume, who doesn't have like a good record in terms of losing the ball and tracking back, and that may just be something that takes them a while to get used to. So I think Wolves will have a few pretty decent opportunities here on the break.
Yeah, first game of the season, isn't it? Half-5 game as well, Wolves. I think on the Saturday night, so hopefully the crowd's up for it and they'll have a go. Although they haven't got Cunha no more, have they? He obviously went to United, so that might be one slight miss for them. But no, great. So Wolves, City, both teams to score. So yeah, bet number 4 for us. What's your fancy? It's bet number 4, please, Kurt.
This one was Leeds and Everton under 2.5. Everton are, I've kind of liked the business they've done in terms of, like, I like Ndiaye. We were at the summer series game when they played Bournemouth, and we got to see him live, and he's talented. He looks like he's going to be good. So they do have a bit of attacking flair here, and they've signed that new striker and stuff. But just overall, Moyes is just uh, they're just a bit tight and a bit slow, and they don't really hit on the break. They kind of like loft it up to Beto and kind of slow the game down. And Leeds are solid. They're coming from a championship where they were really good defensively. Um, they're Premier League players, most of these guys as well. They're not like coming up like this isn't new to Leeds coming up. It's a lot of the players who were up with them last time. Um, and they were solid last year. I expect them to come up and know what they're doing, be solid this year. And Everton like to slow the game down. So I kind of think a really slow kind of stalemate, I guess.
Yeah, more pragmatic, isn't he, Moyes? So he tends to set his teams up that way. I
Yeah.
like the Everton have been linked with the Southampton lads, haven't they? Dibbling is it the winger? I think he's a fantastic player. And if he got in, that would be a good signing. But I don't know whether they'll get that one over the line.
They got Grealish as well.
Yeah, yeah. But
I
again,
wonder if my biggest thing with a lot of teams in Europe, it happens a lot, I feel like, with players like Grealish. I thought it happened when Barcelona bought Coutinho and when City bought Grealish, where they take these like left-sided midfielders. Like Coutinho for us played in like that left pocket. He wasn't a winger, he played in that pocket. And then they go to a bigger club and it's like go play out by the byline. And I thought City did that with Grealish and I didn't quite understand it. So I'm kind of interested to see if Everton will push him back into that midfield spot a little bit because he's so much better there and much more creative. So I'm hoping, well, I don't want Everton to play well, but I'm hoping to see him like revive his career a little bit at least
yeah. You give him a bit of freedom and let him go and play. That's
in
the
his natural spot. And yeah.
definitely. Brilliant. So that's 4 of our bets done. What we're going to put on at the weekend. Final one, bet number 5.
This one's a prop. Declan Rice to have a shot on goal, 2-1. Um, when Partey was fit, he was playing in that like 8 and playing a little bit more forward, getting into the box a little bit more, scoring more goals toward the end of the year. Um, so I think he actually gets a couple. Like if they're going to be camped in United's half, which I kind of think they are, he's going to kind of be in that just outside the box area quite often. And he's been shooting. Again, he's been taking free kicks. He made never ending with those 2 he made versus Real Madrid. Um, so I think there's a world here where he has, 3 attempts and just got to get one through. That 2-1, I feel the number's just a little bit off, and I think it'll take him a little bit. And after they bought Zubamendi, he won't be playing back and sitting in front of the back 4 as much anymore, I don't think.
Yeah, I agree. Zubimendi will probably sit in front of back 4, and Rice might go a bit more forwards. No, brilliant. That's great 5 bets. And I think betting the start of the season is really difficult because obviously you've got no form, no new season form to go on. But again, we crash and burn. We've got no problem with doing that, Care. But at least we've got logic behind our bets and what we're doing. Great expertise. So I mentioned we'll probably do £5-6 bets just for our podcast to try and build a pot. If we lose, we'll put it back in and we'll try again. Um, so yeah, we'll advance a free £5 bet. If I was to give you a free £5 bet and to do maybe a combination, and I kind of think you said they call it a parlay, is it?
Yeah,
In a
parlay. Yeah,
parlay.
yeah.
So what would you do on a parlay? Would you do two, three, four teams? What would you do if you were going to roll a couple of teams up or a couple of results?
Yeah, I have one. I'll run with one. Yeah, 24-1.
I like it.
Holland to score a goal versus Wolves, and then Leeds and Everton to end in a draw, and then Chelsea and Palace to end in a draw as well.
That'd be a crack of that for us if we got that in. I tell you.
Yeah,
It was a boost to start the season.
yeah, no kidding.
What are your thoughts of the season? Then do you think Liverpool favourite? Obviously, I think the favourites with the bookmakers, or they should be. Do you fancy Liverpool again for the season? What?
Um, yeah, I think Arsenal and Liverpool are a bit of a head of City. I know City are kind of in that realm, and we'll see. But I think there's a bit of a step there between the two, a bit of a gap. So I kind of think if it's a race, it'll be Liverpool and Arsenal again. Arsenal will be healthy this year. You would hope or think, I suppose. You're probably not going to miss a Saka for another 4 months. So I think it'll be a bit of a race. And in terms of being favorite, I think Liverpool are favorite and probably should be favorite. But it's also a very much a new system, a new style of play, a lot of new players. So it may. I'm worried it may start slow.
Mm.
Um, but I'm also not of the mind that Arsenal can score enough goals from open play they'll run away with it. It's tough for me to see that too. So I think we'll have a bit of a race this year. I'm not
Yeah,
so sure if City end up in that race, but I think we'll have a bit more of a race.
yeah. I'm not sure on the Arsenal forward, the one they got from. I think he was at Coventry at first, and he went to Sporting Lisbon. Now I think this is a step up for him. But I've watched them a couple of times, probably only 3 or 4 times. I watched them once or twice in the Championship and once or twice for sport. And I don't know if he's quick enough for the Premiership. I could be wrong because the game might be slower. Do you expect him to score goals for Arsenal? He'll get a lot of chances.
Um, yeah, I'm not like over the moon with him, and I'm very much wait and see. It's very difficult out of that particular league in general,
Mm.
and his numbers for some of the bigger teams in that league make me question it just a bit.
Yeah,
But he's a bigger guy. He can move a little bit, and they do need a goal scorer. I think there's a world where Arteta is also kind of just they're going to play United away, put Havertz up front, and they're going to play City away and put Havertz up front, and just a little bit more control and stuff like that. So I think there's a world where he's not necessarily 90 minutes week in and week out kind of guy, and you need a goal, and you bring him on, or start him against some of the lower block teams and stuff. It's also a different style of play because it's a little bit more open out there in
yeah,
Portugal. The games are a little bit open. A lot of the goals he scored were almost on the break,
yeah,
which not going to happen for Arsenal very much. The teams are going to go there and sit. So it's a different type of style. He's already 27, 26. It's not a
mm,
ton of growth here. So, like, there's a world where wherever he is this year, there's a world where that's just him, like, throughout his Arsenal career. So it's an interesting one. I'm not ready to kind of like jump on and think he scores 22, 23 goals or anything.
yeah. I think 5 or 10 games will give you a good indication, won't it? And then I just watched the program before on Sky where they were doing predictions on where they'll finish, and I think one of the guys on it put Chelsea top. What do you think about Chelsea this year? Obviously, Club World Cup. They've got a young team, developing team. Do you think they've got a chance, or would you count them in the top four?
Yeah, top five. We played them top five. The number's gone because we played them at like minus 170 to finish top five. And we played it right before the PSG game. And then after the game, it was like minus 330 or something. It was like 1-3 or whatever. I think they're good enough to finish in the top. Like if they were finished to finish ahead of City, I wouldn't be particularly shocked. And like if one of the bigger, like if Liverpool or Arsenal had a bad year and they finished ahead of them, I wouldn't be necessarily shocked. The numbers look really good. Like the numbers I use to do my stuff look really, really good on Chelsea, and they did last year in general. They had a bit of a finishing problem up front. You get that with some of these strikers now, and Jackson was kind of, iffy here and there. And, you get Madueke was taking a lot of shots and not necessarily putting them in as well. So if they get a little bit more, you know, clinical up front, they should have a good year, I would think.
Yeah, yeah. I think the same about Jackson. I think he's very much like Nunes. He gets in behind. He's fast. He's quick. He runs the channels, but his finishing is a bit erratic. They got João Pedro, didn't he, from Brighton, who seems to have settled in relatively well.
I really like him as well,
Yeah,
Pedro. I liked him at Brighton, but I didn't think of him playing up front necessarily.
you know,
And when they bought him,
yeah,
I was like, how many wingers do you need on the left? But if they're going to play him up front, that's much better. I I think he's better than Delap. Uh, I wasn't particularly high on Delap, but I think he's better than Delap, and I feel kind of bad for Delap because he's gone in and went from 1 to 2 before he's kicked the ball. But yeah, if they get more clinical finishing, I think they'll be pretty good. And Jackson's probably gone. I kind of like I like those strikers. Like I really like Nunez, and like
mm,
when Nunez was with Klopp, I feel kind of bad for Nunez because when he was with Klopp, uh, that was the kind of system Nunez needed to be in. It was like, we're playing really open, a lot of breaks. You kind of go up there and be a bowling ball and do it, do what you do. And then Slot came in and it's a little bit tighter and you need to be a little bit more technical and he just doesn't fit. But uh, I kind of like those strikers who get into good positions. It really helps the team just overall. Obviously, the finishing could be better, but you're creating more chances and eventually some of them go in.
yeah. It's interesting on Delap because I thought he should have went to a team where he'll play every week, but he's a handful. Maybe he will play every week, and I'll be proven wrong on that. But I think the Chelsea manager was Man City's youth manager for quite a bit, and he played. Delap played under him. Then they won quite a bit, and maybe the attraction of London and yeah, maybe some nice wages might have swayed him. But I thought he should have went to maybe even yeah, a team maybe just outside the top four, play every week, and then get another move. So it'll be interesting to see whether he plays or not.
I thought United would have been a really good move for him because it's kind of like that step up and just, uh, I guess, class at a club, just
Yeah,
in general. You get up and you're in way better facilities and you're hoping you're playing in Europe in a year or two, but I thought that would have been a good move. But going to Chelsea where they're known to recycle the talent
mm,
every year, like you're just if you're just either you really, really back yourself to kind of be a mainstay through all the rotation, or chances are you're just being rotated out.
yeah. I think they've bought about 50 players, haven't they, Chelsea, in the last two or three seasons. Or
Every day.
two or
Yeah,
three
every
wins.
day is a new guy.
Yeah, yeah. If they didn't have the transfer deadline, they'd have probably bought 100, wouldn't they? So yeah, to finish off, obviously Liverpool play tomorrow night home to Bournemouth. I think Bournemouth tend to score a few goals. What's your fancy tomorrow night? Are we going to start the season with a win? Do you think, Kurt?
I hope so. I think there will be goals. Again, we're doing something new defensively. Won't have Gravenberg, um, which is a miss in midfield. I'm hoping McAllister is good to go for 90, or at least start the game and go for 60 or whatever it may be. And Bournemouth are replacing their whole back line, and it's a ton of talent. Like everyone who left went to a genuine big club. Like uh, the goalkeeper went to Arsenal, and we got Kerkez, and the center backs went to Real Madrid and PSG. Like genuine talent. I really like their manager though, so I don't know if it's like a fall off a cliff type situation back there, but first
Yeah,
game of the season on the road. We have a ton of offensive talent. I think there will be goals.
Yeah, we'll beat them. We'll definitely beat
It
them.
will be. Yeah, I hope so.
Putting it out there, or we
Yeah.
hope so. No, absolute fantastic catch up tonight, Kurt. Really enjoyed that, and thanks for giving us a bit of an insight going into the weekend game. So yeah, our podcast is going to be on 5 o'clock now every Friday. That's what we're going to try and do. But yeah, we'll have more of the team on next week as well. So we'll have a few of us on next week, and we're going to try and run a weekly slot. So keep an eye out for our bet, and we don't normally do very well, so we'll go the opposite of what we do. So yeah, just a big thank you. And if you do reach the £1,000 mark, should we have another catch up?
Of course, I'm always happy to come on.
Oh, good man, good man. Well, listen, I was going to say have a great evening, but have a great afternoon.
Yes, you too. Have a good one.